Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. I'm going to try doing a little different kind of video, a little bit like the one I did on the concert experience. I'm going to tell my brief as possible story when I did meet Prince. So, I'm pretty sure it was on Jeff Buckley's birthday in 2009, so it would have been November 17th, 2009. I met him. So, I had an advance pass, I think, to the Adam Goldberg movie. I can't even remember the name of it now. It's about music. It's like Untitled. I think it was called Untitled. I could be wrong, but I thought he's a musician. He's an avant-garde musician. Anyway, it was at the Edina Landmark movie theater in Edina, Minnesota. So I had to go. After work, I had some time to kill. I didn't feel like going home. I work in Minneapolis, and Edina's south of Minneapolis, and I live in St. Paul, so at the point I was living technically in Maple. But anyway, it didn't make sense for me to go home. So I had some time to kill, and what a good place to kill time, where would it be? Music shopping. So I went to the Uptown Cheapo, when it was still located in 2009 on Lake Street. I don't know what time it was. It was probably like, I went there, because I usually would work till about 4:30, 5 o'clock at the latest, depending on overtime. I was doing a little different kind of work then, but I was still working at the same company I am now. Anyway, I ended up going to Cheapo from like 5, and the movie was like at 7, from like 5 to 6:30. So and there was like no one in there, which is nice, because I like shopping for music when there's not a lot of people, because then I can just focus on looking for music. And I was just buying CDs there. I wasn't buying vinyl really, flipping through all the CDs and stuff like that. But Little Cheapo is one of the largest, especially in that space, one of the largest music stores, recorded music stores in the Twin Cities. It might be the biggest. It might still be the biggest. Anyway, so there's like 2 or 3 people in there. There's a bunch of employees on the main floor in the CDs area. The vinyl was kept in the basement still, I think, at that point. Yeah, because it didn't move up until a few years later when I met my wife. But yeah, because when I originally met my wife, the vinyl was still in the basement. But anyway, so I'm just browsing, and I don't know what exactly happened, but I saw some people come in, and it's this short guy and a few other people, some women, and so it's like, and they weren't really in the same area, because they had like, Cheapo's, the way they organize their music, like a lot of music stores, they have the genres. They have the rock pop, and then they have soul R&B, and metal separate, and then they have the recent arrivals. I was probably looking through the recent arrivals. I was looking just for the used stuff, probably the used stuff. But so I actually had sort of a little bit of rapport with some of the employees, and one of them, I think his name was Joel. I went up and asked him. It's like, surprised nobody noticed he's here. And Joel looked at me. He was like organizing some new CDs to put on the shelf or something. It was right near the counter. He's like, "Who's here?" Like, Prince. He's right over there. And he's like, he just kind of like, it didn't really faze him that much. Like, maybe he's come in occasions before. Anyway, so I just was thinking my friend John wasn't with me, but he would have probably really gotten a kick out of the opportunity to at least, maybe say something to him. So I went up to him. He was actually browsing through the recent arrivals. And I went up to him and I just said, I'm a fan. I don't really want to bother you. I know you're just shopping and stuff. So I just ask you one question. I'll let you be. And he's like, "Okay, thanks." He said that to me. So, and I remember before I did go up to him, I was trying to come up with a really good question. Like, it was kind of on the spot. And it's like 5:30, whatever it was. I had a little more time left. But, I didn't know how long he was going to be in there. So I asked him about Jelly Bean Johnson. I thought about Jelly Bean Johnson. I knew Jelly Bean Johnson had played with Victor Wooten's band. When Victor Wooten had come in, he jammed with him on guitar, but I wasn't as versed. I knew the name. Jelly Bean Johnson's this big guy, part of the whole Minneapolis sound scene, in that period of time, with a lot of the people like, of course, the other people besides Prince, Andre Simone and Morris Day, and some of the other people, Alexander O'Neal sort of got put in that. But anyway, so I asked him, and he goes, I asked him, well, what was it like playing with Jelly Bean Johnson? What did you think of him? And he's like, he wasn't really a very good drummer. And I sort of laughed, and I was thinking he was being sort of sarcastic in a way, and like, oh, that's sort of interesting because I only know him playing guitar. It's like, but that's true. And then I was like, all right, well, thanks. And then I just walked away, and he was browsing more of the titles. And I remember I was thinking I should have asked him about Jeff Buckley's birthday, or if he knew it was Jeff Buckley, but he probably didn't know Jeff Buckley's birthday, or something else. I wish I would have asked him about Apes and Androids, or asking about Cheapo itself, because Cheapo, we didn't know if Cheapo was going to move at that point. I remember because Cheapo was sort of struggling. I don't know if they were exactly, but anyway, so that was kind of my one little brush with Prince. The shortest guy is like 5'1", and he had like his earrings, like all this line of gold earrings, and he had like a little entourage. There was probably 2 or 3 women and at least one other guy, but some of those, at least a couple of them, I think, end up heading down into the basement to look at the vinyl. I think Prince had actually 1.2, but he was there for maybe 30 minutes, an hour tops. Not even. I left after he left, but there wasn't that many people there. It was like, I think it was like a Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon. So that was my one brush with Prince, and I remember thinking it just, I could have asked him a lot of other things, but, I don't want to be that fanboy. It's just like going after, and the truth is I don't even have that much of his catalog. I know some of his CDs actually were in the recent arrivals, which is ironic. A lot of them were scuffed. I remember I went over there after he finished looking in that area in the recent arrivals. I was flipping through some of the same CDs looking, did he see anything he would want? I don't even know if he bought anything. But I know he would make semi, like, intermittent or, like, random stops at both Cheapo and Electric Fetus in Uptown, among some other places. He was at some concerts I was at. He was at Janelle Monáe in 2013. He was at a couple others. And he was at the Josh Rouse concert that my wife and I went in the mid-2010s. But he was there beforehand, and we talked to Josh Rouse after the show. He wished Prince had stayed, but Prince didn't stay. So, but yeah, I was lucky. It was my one sort of brush with fame of a sorts. But and I've actually been appreciating his music more now than I did back then. Sadly, and he's not around. The first album For You, especially the song, I think it's I'm Yours, is like prog. The shredding on that is perfect, and he played almost everything on the record. So anyway, if you've ever met Prince, I'd love to hear a story, or what would you say to Prince if you got the chance to meet him? Unfortunately, that won't happen now, but what would you ask him if you had one question to ask Prince? Probably a better question than I asked him, but when you're on the spot and you have like a short window of time, you don't know what you're gonna do. You don't think about this kind of stuff. It's really out of nowhere. So one day Prince walks in. What are you gonna ask him? You got 5 seconds. Go. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.